Why do some people blow out 90 candles with a steady hand and a mischievous smile, while others never get the chance to see 80? Why does one 72-year-old seem to grow younger in spirit every year, while another quietly fades before 75? Is it fate? Is it luck? Is it written in the DNA like some invisible script? Or is it something far more ordinary, something so simple that most people overlook it until it's too late? Sit with that question for a moment, because this is not just a topic. This is personal. If you're over 60, it's about your next 20 years. If you're younger, it's about the roadmap you're building right now. Picture two women, both turning 70 in the same small American town. Same grocery store. Same doctor's office. Same generation. One reaches 91, still sharp, still laughing, still insisting on baking her own birthday cake. The other passes away at 74, after a steady decline that seemed to just happen. But here's the uncomfortable truth: decline rarely just happens. It builds quietly. It whispers before it shouts. It shows up in skipped walks, in unreturned phone calls, in the sentence, "I'm too old for that," repeated like a lullaby. Aging after 70 is not a sudden collapse. It's a pattern. And patterns can either protect you or slowly pull you under. The people who live to 90 often don't look extraordinary at 70. They're not marathon runners. They're not biohackers. They're not living on green juice and mountain air. They're ordinary. But their ordinary is consistent. And consistency is powerful. After 70, the body changes fast. Muscle mass decreases. Balance weakens. Bones become more fragile. The heart has worked for 7 decades, and it feels it. But here's what separates those who thrive from those who decline. Response. Some people see these changes and retreat. They sit more. They move less. They become cautious to the point of paralysis. Fear of falling becomes sitting all day. Sitting all day becomes weakness. Weakness becomes instability. Instability becomes the very fall they were trying to avoid. It's cruel, almost ironic. Others respond differently. They feel the stiffness and decide to stretch. They notice their breath getting shorter and decide to walk a little farther each week. Not perfectly, not dramatically, but deliberately. Movement after 70 is not about vanity. It's about survival. The human body is brutally honest: use it or lose it. And the ones who use it, even gently, tend to keep it longer. There's also the matter of connection. Loneliness does not always look like isolation. Sometimes it looks like pride. I don't want to bother anyone. They're busy with their own lives. I'm fine on my own. Those sentences sound strong. Independent. But beneath them can be a slow emotional starvation. Humans are wired for connection. At 7 and at 70. When social circles shrink, and they do shrink after retirement and loss, the risk isn't just emotional sadness. It's physical decline. Stress hormones increase. Sleep gets disturbed. Inflammation creeps up. The immune system weakens. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens gradually, quietly. And then one day someone says, "She just went downhill so fast." But it wasn't fast. It was silent. The people who reach 90 often guard their relationships like treasure. They join clubs even when they feel awkward. They call first instead of waiting. They say yes to invitations, even when it's easier to say no. They allow themselves to need others. That humility, that willingness to stay engaged, keeps the heart beating with more than just blood. Then there is mindset. And this part surprises people. Studies have shown that individuals who hold positive beliefs about aging live significantly longer than those who view aging as purely decline. Think about that. If you believe your best years are behind you, your behavior reflects it. You stop setting goals. You stop learning. You stop planning. You shrink. But if you believe there is still growth ahead, even at 75, your body follows that belief in subtle but measurable ways. The brain stays active. Curiosity remains alive. And curiosity is youth. I once heard a 94-year-old man say, "I don't wake up old. I wake up interested." That sentence holds power. Interest keeps the mind flexible, and flexibility, mental and emotional, might be one of the most underrated longevity traits. Loss is inevitable after 70. Friends pass. Spouses pass. Roles change. Health scares happen. The difference is not who avoids loss. It's who adapts to it. Some people freeze in grief and never fully re-enter life. Others grieve deeply, but then slowly step back into sunlight. They find new routines, new communities, new small joys. Adaptability is like shock absorption for the soul. Without it, every bump becomes catastrophic. With it, even heavy blows can be survived. Genetics matter, yes, but they are not dictators. They are influencers. Two siblings with the same parents can age very differently depending on habits. One drinks excessively and sleeps 4 hours a night. The other moderates alcohol and protects sleep like it's sacred. One manages stress through walking and prayer. The other stews in resentment. Over 20 years, these differences compound. Aging is compound interest in action. Small daily deposits or small daily withdrawals. And by 85, the account shows it. There's also purpose. This one is subtle but profound. The people who live long often have something or someone they feel responsible for. A dog that needs feeding. A community garden. A volunteer shift at the library. A grandchild they tutor every Tuesday. Responsibility creates momentum. It pulls you forward. When there's no reason to get up, staying in bed feels logical. But when someone or something depends on you, the body finds energy it didn't know it had. Purpose does not have to be grand. It just has to be real. The world tells older adults to slow down, to step aside, to fade gently. And some accept that script, but others rewrite it. They say, maybe I move slower, but I'm not done. That quiet defiance, healthy, grounded defiance, shows up again and again in those who reach 90. They are not reckless. They are resilient. They are not denial-driven. They are determination-driven. They don't ignore doctor visits. They don't pretend nothing hurts. But they refuse to let aches define them. There's humor, too. Long-lived people often laugh easily. At themselves. At life's absurdities. Humor lowers stress. It bonds people. It lightens heavy days. A bitter spirit ages faster. A light spirit endures. And if you've noticed, many vibrant 90-year-olds have a spark in their eye. A playful comment ready? That spark is not accidental. It's practiced. It's chosen. Over and over again. After 70, the margin for error narrows. That sounds scary, but it's simply honest. The body is less forgiving. Recovery takes longer. One fall can change everything. One unmanaged condition can cascade. And yet, this stage of life also holds incredible potential. Because experience brings wisdom. And wisdom, when applied, is powerful protection. The people who live to 90 often become students of their own bodies. They notice changes early. They don't ignore persistent fatigue. They don't dismiss chest discomfort as just aging. They ask questions. They adjust medications carefully. They take prevention seriously. Not obsessively, but responsibly. Awareness saves time. And time is precious. Nutrition also plays its role. Not perfection, balance, Many long-lived individuals eat simply: vegetables, fruits, whole grains, lean proteins. They don't eat like they're invincible. They eat like they're invested. Portion sizes shrink naturally with age, and those who respect that shift tend to fare better than those who keep eating like they're 40. Excess weight strains joints, burdens the heart, and increases inflammation. But this isn't about dieting culture. It's about stewardship, taking care of the only body you get. Sleep becomes sacred too. Deep sleep repairs tissues, balances hormones, clears metabolic waste from the brain. Chronic poor sleep accelerates decline. So the 90-year-olds often protect bedtime routines. They wind down. They limit late-night stimulation. They create calm. It sounds boring, but boring habits build stable health. Stress management becomes non-negotiable. Chronic stress bathes the body in cortisol. Over time, that damages blood vessels, weakens immunity, and disrupts metabolism. Those who endure longest often cultivate coping rituals: morning walks, prayer, journaling, gardening, breathing slowly on the porch at sunset. They don't eliminate stress. They process it, and processing prevents accumulation. Emotional baggage weighs more at 80 than it did at 30. Resentment tightens arteries. Bitterness disturbs sleep. Forgiveness doesn't erase history. It frees energy. Many who reach 90 have made peace with imperfect pasts. Not because it was easy, but because carrying anger for decades is exhausting. And exhaustion shortens life. There is also something almost rebellious about thriving after 70. Society often underestimates older adults. It subtly suggests decline is inevitable and rapid. The long-lived quietly reject that narrative. They learn new technologies. They try new recipes. They take community college classes. They surprise themselves. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to adapt, does not vanish at 70. It slows, yes, but it remains. And those who use it keep it. Engagement keeps cognition alive. Isolation accelerates deterioration. Even small daily conversations stimulate memory and emotional regulation. A chat with a neighbor, a debate over coffee, a shared joke. Tiny sparks that keep the mental engine humming. And here's something blunt. Some people don't reach 90 because they surrender internally. They decide, consciously or unconsciously, that their story is over, that nothing new awaits them, that they are burdens rather than contributors, that internal narrative shapes external behavior. When effort drops, outcomes follow. But the opposite is also true. When someone decides at 72 that they are still becoming, not just aging, the trajectory shifts. Small improvements compound. A little stronger each year instead of a little weaker. A little more connected instead of more withdrawn. And suddenly, 90 is not impossible. It's plausible. It's within reach. None of this guarantees anything. Life remains unpredictable. Accidents happen. Illness strikes unfairly. But patterns matter. Choices matter, especially after 70. If you are reading this and you're in that decade or beyond, understand this clearly. You are not powerless. Your daily habits still speak loudly. Walk even if it's slow. Lift light weights even if they feel heavy. Call people even if pride whispers not to. Eat intentionally. Sleep intentionally. Forgive intentionally. Stay curious. Stay engaged. Stay slightly stubborn about your right to thrive. Because the gap between 70 and 90 is not just 20 years. It's thousands of small decisions stacked quietly on top of one another. And starting today, yes, today, you can begin stacking them in your favor.